Welcome to another Theology-2-Go. Pastor Dallas here, and great week this week, and studying new wines into new wineskins. And Pastor Tim brought us a couple, actually a lot of different stories this week about Jesus. But one in particular that was from our Northside Weekly reading was the story in John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11, the wedding at Cana. And Pastor Tim mentioned to us that this was the first of Jesus' miracles. And it was. Jesus was not quite ready to begin his ministry. You can actually see that in the interaction with his mother when she tells them that they need more wine. And he says, "It is not my time yet." And he was not planning on this miracle. But I want to point out some significant things that I noticed in this passage. And so I'm actually on location today. I'm over at Drive and Shine here in Elkhart, and this Theology-2-Go is not sponsored by them, but it is a great place to think about some significant things from this passage. So if you notice, down in the passages a little bit later on, the vessels that Jesus fills or tells the servants to fill, they are these six stone jars that are used for ceremonial cleaning, ceremonial washing. And there's a couple significant things about those. So there's 6 of them, which for the Jewish people, 7 was a perfect number. 6 was not it was an imperfect number, an imperfect number of incompletion. And so I want to kind of highlight that just real quick, and I'll come back to that. But they walked everywhere, so their feet were dirty. So these jars were used for washing their feet when they would come to somebody's house, but they were also used to wash hands when they first came to the house, but also in between different parts of the meal. So these jars were very important, and they were being constantly used. And these are the jars that Jesus had filled. And there's a couple significant things with this. Is the first thing that Jesus tells them to fill the jars to the brim. Now, why would it be so important that these jars got filled to the brim? Because these were gigantic jars. They were like 20 to 30 gallon jars, and if they were filled to the brim, it would make more wine. In 6 jars, it would make more wine than they would ever possibly need. Well, there's a significance to that as well. But first thing that I want to point out is the fill to the brim is because Jesus wants to prove a point that there is nothing else in these jars except for the water, which makes the first part of the miracle significant. That what Jesus says is enough, and it's filled to the brim. The second part that I want to bring to your attention is that enough part. Jesus says there's enough, but there's also more than enough. There's more than enough if God is in the things that he said he would do. We don't have to worry about scarcity. We don't have to worry about running out of things. We don't have to worry about the things that we're going through, because God says that I will be with you there, and I will give you more than enough. The last thing that I want to point out with this, and I think this part was really cool, and maybe you might disagree with me, but I thought that this was a significant thing. And so Jesus is turning this water in these 6 jars into wine. And there's another part of scripture where we see Jesus taking some wine and saying something very significant. If you're tracking with me, this is the communion meal, the Last Supper, what Jesus institutes as the remembrance meal. He takes the cup of wine and he says to his disciples, he says, "This now represents my blood, which is shed for you, poured out for the redemption of all." And I just couldn't help but think of, that old song that we talk about being washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb. And the ceremonial washing that was being done with these jars, these 6 jars, that was turned into wine. But remember, the number 7 was significant because it was the number of completion. If we think of Jesus as kind of being that 7th jar, that ceremonial cleaning jar, that Jesus is now saying, my blood, the water in my body, my blood is poured out for you, for your redemption. You are clean. My blood is more than enough for you, for everything that you could possibly need, for your redemption, for your cleansing. I just thought that that was such a cool thing to see in this passage. So that I just want to challenge you then, as you think about this week, as we connect Sunday to the rest of the week, as we talk about trying to think about this new wine into new wineskins. How is God preparing you as a new wineskin? This new wine that God offers, that Jesus offers, of hope and redemption. This new life that he offers. Are we willing to prepare ourselves to accept Jesus' new wine? Take care. God bless. Till next time, we'll see you out there.